Hello folks, Kirk and Jason here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today I want to show you guys how to repair a patch that was previously done. Now the fellow who done this patch right here, he's a painter, and he's a real good painter. He actually didn't do too bad of a job, but when the sun hits it, you can see that it's a little heavier. It's too coarse. Now you look at what they have here. That is mighty fine, and that comes from about 80 years of paint jobs, so it thins it out. What he has, no matter how much paint you put on this, you can go 20 coats, it's not going to soften it up like this. What I did is I came and looked at it, and I said, well, that's decent, but the folks don't like it, and he doesn't like it. What I have down there, now granted guys, there's a lot of ways to patch this. That green right there just happens to be Dry-It acrylic stucco, and the gray there is also Dry-It acrylic stucco. Now I have about 70, 80 pails of stucco acrylics at my house, so I said let me see which one I have, the texture, because you have fine texture, medium texture, and coarse. So this is a medium, so we're going to apply that. Now I told him, dude, you can do it, because he said he'd fix it, and I said you can do it a couple ways. You can put Weldcrete. Weldcrete is a bonding agent. Then you can mix up some more stucco, a finish coat, and put that on there and feather it in. Heck, you could even use Morflex caulking and caulk the whole thing and trowel it down and then float it to bring out a little bit of sand. There's a lot of ways to do this, guys. What I have here is what I have in my just excess stock. So I told him, I'll come out here with some 2030 acrylic stucco. Acrylic stucco sticks to everything. I mean everything. Your clothes, your trowels. Sometimes you just throw the stuff away because it won't come off. Anyway, where this patch is, I know the ladder's in the way, but I'm going to show you how we just apply a little bit of finish over that and smooth it out. Now, what I did too, guys, is Jason wet everything prior. Like the bush down there, that bush is saturated with water, because I know my skill level, and yeah, I'll drop a few crumbs, but I'm not going to drop a whole lot. So a few crumbs will wash right in. Now, what I'm doing here is, again, I've already pulled the mud out of that bucket, and I'm basically just skimming it. I'm skimming the patch that he did in order to fill all these voids. Now, of course, I put some red tape around that window frame because I'm pretty good, but I still don't want to have to clean all those frames. Okay, so now we're going to just pull this up, or go like so. And you guys can do this too if you have a patch and you want to correct it. Say like the sand I'm using. Again, it's called 2030, and that just means it's a medium grit. I could use even the heavy grit, or I could use the finer grit. There's ways to do it when you improvise and use whatever grit you just have available. Say like the heavy grit, you let it sit a little bit longer, and then you barely float it. The fine grit, you hit it quick, and it'll bring out the sand. This right here is the correct grit because, again, I said I had a whole bunch of these pails at the house. So we're doing about 15 windows today, and so I thought I'd get started with this one here, just to show you guys, if you have a contractor, a painter, or you do it yourself, and it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world, guys. Let's see. We'll take this. And Jay got me set up on the other side with plank and scaffold. Here, I said, don't bother. It's take too much work to set it all up. And besides, I have a pretty long stretch. Okay, I've got to get a little bit more on my hawk. Now, if I put too much on my hawk, guys, what's going to happen? This stuff is just going to fall right off the edges. And this acrylic, nasty stuff. It sticks to everything. But what I do is, by using the acrylic, I avoid having to mix up sand, cement. I avoid having to put the Weldcrete by Larson's on here to have it adhere. And besides all of that, all he'll have to do is paint it. If I put raw stucco back on it, then they got to prime, paint, a lot more work. So this is a pretty simple thing to do here. Just use what you have. And of course, any of you folks who don't have, well, most of you won't have these acrylics laying around, you can go buy, say like, they sell a product at the material yards. You're not going to find it at Lowe's or Home Depot, called Image or Image, how they say it. And it's a lighter sand. You can do this exact same thing, guys, to soften it up. It's an acrylic, sticks to everything, and you avoid that mixing up the scratch and brown stuff. The cementitious finish. This, you have cementitious finish, which is what he used. Then you have acrylic. This is an acrylic or synthetic stucco. They both mean the same thing. And acrylics or synthetic stucco is just sand mixed with an elastomeric breathable paint. So we put that here. All right, I'm done here. Now what I'm going to do is take a float bucket. Now this green float, I'm going to clean this trowel off too, because I don't want a bunch of slobbers falling all over the place. Clean that. And this, okay, now if I have this float, this collects water. If it's too saturated, by the time I hit that joint, it's just going to fall right down. Well, it's going to drip all over the place. So we don't really want that. All right, guys, now what we do is just float it. We float the edges first. Float the edges. Up, a little bit more water on here, no worries. And notice the sand is a little bit heavier. Because it's heavier, just trowel it down, guys, like that. And now it kind of matches that. I don't have enough water on my float, so I've got to put more water on the float. Otherwise, I'm right here in the sun. And this wall has been hit for about 2 or 3 hours, so it's really hot. I misjudged it. Not the first time, not going to be the last time. I misjudged how hot this wall was, because we've got a whole lot of things going on here. So there we go. And again, where that joint is critical. We hit that, and we hit the rest. And because this wall's so hot, it already dried up the acrylic. Sometimes you misjudge these acrylics thinking, oh, they usually get hard in about an hour. But because this wall's so hot, it's absorbing it right out. So I better get as much of this as I can. All right. That's better. That's another. There's so many different things to consider, guys, when you're doing plastering, especially with working with acrylic products like the weather. I mean, if it's super cold, I can be here hours because it won't set. Now, today it just happens to be about 85 degrees, and this wall has been getting hammered. So now this is a little heavier than that, so what I'm going to do is just trowel it down a little bit more. I just trowel it down. I mean, you don't have to look, just look at that, trowel it down a little bit more. The idea is that finish is far from perfect. So what we want is the joint. The joint is number one. Where the transition, number one, get that just as clean as possible. And yeah, I use a trowel that flexes, it bends, it's for swimming pools, and that'll bend and flex where I want it to. So we got that, and here is too heavy. So All I'm doing is spreading a little bit more, flattening it out, and presto, magic, it is done. Now that right there matches a lot closer than what they had. And now for the easy part. You just put that stuff away and pull your tape. Start from the top, guys, and just get a grip of it like a sock in a dryer. It doesn't want to come off. Okay, come on now. Come on now, don't play hard to get. Okay, turn your head because that stuff's going to go everywhere. And if you get a little bit on the glass, that's okay because I've got a rag right there and it's only been on about, less than 5 minutes. So stuff like this, I'm going to kick off and get a rag and clean it. But anyway, guys, you see, that's how you do it. And if you say, gee whiz, I want a lighter finish, you can go with Image, or you can go with any of the finishes that are designed for smooth finish, and that's 30-30 sand. This is 20-30 sand, so it's a little bit different. Okay, guys, now you notice the color is not green like I first applied. It is gray. Anybody know why? The green I applied was 20-30. The gray in that bucket right there just happens to be 30-30. That's a lot finer. So as I was telling my painter buddy, hey, don't beat yourself up for making a little mistake. I made the same mistake. You got to use these acrylics almost constantly to keep on them, which is, it's hard to just look at the finish in the bucket and say, okay, that's 30-30, 20-30, or 16-20. Anyway, I wasn't happy with it, so I took another 5 minutes and thinned it out with 30-30. Much nicer finish to what they have. It happens, guys, to the best of us. Anyway, we thank you for watching, and as usual, guys, we'll see you on the next one.
By the way, folks, my dad and I are now members of Amazon affiliates, so if you're looking to buy any of the plastering or construction tools you've seen in our videos and you want to support us in the process, you can check the links below our video, or you can go to our website and get them there. If you have any other questions for tools we don't have linked, email us direct and we'll respond to you then.
Once again, folks, we thank you for watching, and I really enjoy all your comments.
If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below, and also if you enjoy what we do, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos for you.
My name is Kirk.
And Jay.
We thank you for watching, and from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.